you ready?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Weeaboo Club Weekly, Week 29. I'm saying that off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure I'm right, as always.
I think you're right, yeah.
It is Week 29.
Let's go.
Nunmanji's making all kinds of noise over there, but Craftsdwarf's definitely going to cut it out because you do not want to hear whatever the fuck's going on.
Well, now I can't. I have to leave some of it.
Look, we started recording late, so I'm hungry. I was gonna wait till after.
I guess we'll get this out of the way first because I do feel bad about it, and I'm sure it'll come up. Look,
no, it's not a big deal.
No, I feel bad. Look, okay, Weeb Club residents, or listeners, it is currently my time, Central Time, 4:30. We normally start recording, like 2 o'clock, like 2 p.m. is when we try to get on, maybe 3.
No, I think it's been 3.
I went to bed last night around like 5:35, 4:45, whatever. It's Thanksgiving break. My sleep schedule's fucked up. So then I wake up at 3:45. I wake up. So I slept like whatever, almost like 10 hours or something. And I get up and I fucking go to my computer, and Crafts and None have been in call for like an hour and a half waiting for me. So
not that long, I don't think, but we have been in call for a while. Yeah.
It was very sad. I feel bad about it.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, I think I'm glad I had a little bit of time before starting recording because I really didn't want to record. But talking to Crafts for a little while beforehand made it better.
Oh,
Pog. So
don't make me blush.
So that's what happened. So I sound a little gravelly. All I did was wake up, watch Blue Period, and then start recording. So.
Basically, yeah.
Okay. A lot of it was people talking about their.
I'm looking at like Positive had a write up on his video game history. Some guy, the science adventure guy, made me because he mentioned his parents both had DSs, and there's part of my brain that goes like, all right, I'm 30. It's within like he's obviously going to be older than 10, but I can understand someone who's like 40 and has kids and was playing like Game Boy Advance and DS and stuff. Like that's not too unusual for me. So, but I just had that feeling like people who played Pokemon when they were kids have become adults and have children now, and I'm like, oh yeah, fuck, I'm old. So
those kids are growing up and playing Pokemon, and that's when they learn why their name is Snorlax. Could you imagine naming your kid fucking Snorlax? Because it's like you and your wife's favorite Pokemon. How much do you have to hate your
child to do that?
If you had to be named after a Pokemon, which one? None.
I wouldn't want it to be Snorlax.
Well, fair enough. Titania said the word girl slander is unreal on this podcast. I think, honestly, we could have stood to have more word girl slander, but that's just me. And then Kage says, how did Vindy and Crafts not know word girl? Again, like we talked about, Crafts was born in 1991,
91.
Maybe.
Yeah. So
I was born in 1998. Okay.
If World Girl started in 2007, I would have been 16 with a younger brother who was like 14 or 15. Nobody in their fucking house was watching Word Girl.
Yeah. I was 9. The only show I remember my brother watching, it's 2. And one was Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and the other one was Special Agent Oso, and I only remember Special Agent Oso because me and my friends would make fun of it. Not like in front of my little brother, but like I had a friend named Carlos who had a younger brother who also watched that show, so we would make fun of it like when we were like playing games. And that's the only reason I remember that show.
Now,
so
if
no,
you're
I have
talking
no
children's shows from like more like closer to the 2010s or like in the 2010s, like Mike the Knight and Paw Patrol. Like I know those because my mom was babysitting, and they were on TV, so I know those shows. But yeah.
Paw Patrol the best show on television?
It ain't a JoJo's reference. It can't be that.
The second Dune movie coming out the same day as Paw Patrol 2 the movie. Dune's dead in the water. Honestly, you should just cancel the movie now.
There was a whole ass Paw Patrol aisle at Target, by the way, when I worked there. Like, holy fuck. Like, just for Paw Patrol toys. Kind of insane.
I almost bought the Peppa Pig game over at Black Friday. I was at GameStop. I saw it on the shelf, and I told myself 20 or less, and it was 24. I almost just
more
bought
critically
it
well received by audiences than the GTA collection that just came out.
That's true. Do you have any other comments from the gaming one?
No, there was no comments I wanted to respond to.
Oh, Ronan111 had was talking about Baki a little bit.
I can go back and look. I think I remember what he said, which was essentially that he stopped reading at a certain point because he thought it was going to be sad, but let me see what he said after that.
He was mostly talking about how, like, part skippers are bad.
Yeah. Part skippers are very bad. Yeah. So part skipper bad. Read the parts. I'm going to say a hot take right now that I might talk about next week. I think I like part 4 better than part 3.
So yeah, you're almost caught up, right?
Yeah, I'm like 50 chapters away from being caught up.
Just like JoJo's, part 4 was the best so far within the first 4.
Unlike JoJo's, the 3 is the best before 4. Part 3 of Baki. Part 3 of what Baki is what JoJo fans pretend like part 3 of JoJo's is.
All right, I'm ready to move on to the extra video that came out this week. The anime has the worst journalism.
Yes, good times.
The comment we're saying that we're just a Naruto podcast was very true.
Yeah. I mean, it does come up a lot. Or this is a Naruto channel is what they,
very good. Let me see.
So yeah, I mean, Twill does, they say like, writing this stuff is likely like they deal with really a lot of crunch and are, they're bad at treating their staff, treating their staff like shit and stuff. So, it's like probably not a good work environment, but and guess what? It doesn't create a good product. That? What do you know?
CBR? About CBR?
Twill FTW.
Twill. And here's the thing I'll say, and this is obviously speculative on my part, but I feel like you can get an idea that this is what these people would think because I see how they write and talk about these series. I would be willing to
they're
bet
not unusual takes, right? It's not.
Yeah, I would be willing to bet that they might say.
Yeah.
They might be like, yeah, what I write isn't the best, but it's not wrong. Is like what they would say about their articles if asked, right? And it's like that's the problem. Is like they are wrong.
Even if they're crunched and very rushed, they still like. There's still plenty of things that are like a simple Google search. Like I still don't think it fucking like explains everything and kind of makes everything just fine.
The problem is like a lot of the stuff they're saying is just fucking wrong or like so speculative and off base that it's not even like real to say. Like you're just saying it, but it doesn't.
And right. Well, like because Doji mentions that apparently in the SBS, there's times when Oda uses a different katakana or the katakana in certain situations where it doesn't belong, and he says he got that from Akira. So Oda has in fact read Akira and likes the manga, and it has influenced One Piece in a way, but not the way that the article talked about. And
right. There's no way that the person writing the article knew that. Because I bet if you really looked up One Piece Oda Akira, you might be able to find that, right?
Well, and that's the thing about, like, when people talk about influences, I think they just look for very, like, obvious textual and genre similarities, right? Like, oh, Dragon Ball influenced One Piece. Look, Goku is a dumb child and eats a lot of food. Luffy is a dumb child and eats a lot of food, right? They look for those kind of things without realizing that, like, here he is saying that Akira is an influence because of how he uses the E katakana, right? Or what I was thinking of is the author of Chainsaw Man, Fujimoto, mentioned a movie that I just watched called The Chaser, where I don't even forget what he even mentioned as like it being an influence to like how he did like a certain scene, and like because I watched the movie and I didn't get any Chainsaw Man vibes from it, but it was an influence of Chainsaw Man. So like 'cause people don't like there's more to stories than just those like really easy textual similarities, and or like one that I think about is with Madoka, where I was influenced by it in like structurally with how like at around the low point of the story or at the low point of the story, I would like have a flashback that goes back and like recontextualizes everything that's happening like right before the climax of the story. And I did that in all my Danganronpa fan fictions, and I realized, like, partway through writing those that, oh, this is just like Madoka and how it works with episode 10. So, like, you know, influence just isn't that, like, simple, I guess, as people tend to talk about it. So, you know, interesting. Because I actually haven't read the SBS for a lot of the later One Piece volumes, because I've been reading it weekly for a while, and I haven't read my physical volumes, but, so I didn't actually know that.
I think the biggest, like, problem that people have when it comes to influence, and I think it's, like, one of the most consistent problems, is just, like, never acknowledging trends of the time to the point where people will only think this thing had to have come from this very specific one series, usually because it's, like, the most popular or most acclaimed one, so it's just, like, they'll say it's from this when it could have been from something, like, something else, and if you found that thing out was something else, it would be probably more specific in what you're, like, saying was an influence and what they got from it, instead of just, like, looking at the most popular one and saying it's this.
Right, like, because I was just thinking about, like, 2 examples, and I realized that those 2 examples are the same example because of the way, like, people erase, like, transforming hero things, even though, like, they're super important to Sailor Moon and Evangelion, which people also take those and what those are doing in ways that, like, without, you know, like, hey, guess what? Hideaki Anno was influenced by a lot of things, including this really popular series with an alien and sci-fi shit, and also, you know, Taokichi Naoko was influenced by Transforming Hero series, and she made one called Sailor Moon, but people don't care about the Transforming Hero stuff that's older, so, which I think even came up on the episode, on the video, but yeah, and yeah, there's a couple other comments. It was very much like I think, Ronan 111 compared it to an EWB, and it was basically an EWB, but, so,
yeah, there were a lot of people who were very happy with the toxicity in the episode, which I don't think is surprising because, you know, It is the toxic Weeb Club content that people love to see. Even if it's not, you know, what we always want to do, I think, you know, we know that stuff like that y'all are going to enjoy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so hopefully this makes up for the not having an EWB in a while. Anyway, I'm ready to move on to the Reddit.
Yeah.
Don't listen to the first one.
Oh, we actually had Reddit posts? Wow.
Yeah, well, someone listened. Everyone, like 3 people listened and posted stuff on the Reddit.
All right.
Gamer episode without racism. Smash took away everything from us with this entry on the Weeb Club.
Whoa, Craftsdwarf. What the fuck are you saying with bleach on your screen?
No, I was talking about 7 Deadly Sins. It was the other time I said that word in the Nen show.
Damn.
The other one was referring to my friend Kamapunta.
Whoa.
I was even right. I don't even think Manga Stream ever used that word in translation.
Yeah, you just said it for no reason. I remember that. You just say these things as an excuse to be able to say it.
It's my dark past. Anyway, I guess this is what's the name of that fucking Undertale sequel thing again? I played the first one. Deltarune. That's it. I forgot about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
cartoon. I thought it was
sapping
funny.
your energy rapidly. It does. It's why we can't be toxic all the time. We don't have it in us. Maybe one day one of y'all will, but we only have so much toxicity, I think, left in our bones for the rest of our lives. So we have to, space it out.
And then the last one is a throwback a bit.
Wait, is there another one that was newer that I didn't see?
Yeah.
It was Vindy. 10 minutes ago. I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was. It's a bit of a throwback.
Oh my god! Do you guys remember when people were making a shit ton of those with my actual face?
Yes, I remember. Oh my god!
So it's funny that it's funny that people are doing that he's doing this with like my my thing instead of doing it with my face, which is what most people have been doing it with.
Yeah, because this isn't even the first like Vindy deepfake that's been made. So.
No, I don't even think it's in the first like single digit Vindy deepfakes. There was a period where they were fucking a hot commodity.
So, I'm now since we're done with the Reddit, we're doing the topic for this week. We don't have a topic. We're just gonna shoot the shit.
Yeah, it might be a fucking disaster. It could be Pog. Tell us what you think
Pog
either
if
way.
we were fucking recording when we were talking earlier to ourselves, because I thought we had some pretty good discussion, but
Yeah, but then, it was also such a good discussion that part of me is like, well, maybe we should just save that for an extracurricular or something.
Well, and it's funny because, like, that's how, like, almost in some ways the Weeb Club kind of got started, was we literally just do, like, talk, and we don't do it as much, but that's because we record the Weeb Club. We still do it, like, we'll just talk and shoot the shit, and a lot of times the discussion we end up having is, like, actual really good discussion.
No, when we did the episode 0 for this version of this, like, and that was of course after some of the more of the Weeb Club, but it turned out really fucking good, and it gave us like hopes for doing the Weeb Club, right? So, or the weekly as we're doing it now. You know,
I honestly think no topic can be more interesting than a topic, just because it's like, if we're not interested in what we're talking about, we're just going to move on and talk about something else, and whatever sticks is whatever's actually like interesting to all of us usually.
Right, which, you know.
Yeah.
Or what's up?
Oh, no. I was going to ask something. No, don't worry about it.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. Just ignore me. So we don't want to go back to what we were talking about before we started? Like the...
It's up to you. I don't know.
Because if not, I guess I could just ask, like, how were y'all Thanksgivings?
I didn't. Well, we had one, but also we didn't. Like, it wasn't that big. As in, like, because the thing about Thanksgiving is it's the thing you do with family, and we have like no family around here anymore. Like, it's literally just, you know, the three of us, and my dad didn't feel like doing a lot of cooking and stuff. So, but he did want, because he almost likes it more than the actual Thanksgiving dinner is the sandwiches afterwards. Because I guess how a sandwich as he likes it is it's like a slice of bread or 2 slices of bread with butter on them, then like a layer of turkey and a layer of stuffing.
And then you put gravy on that?
Sometimes. So and he really likes those. So he wanted that, but he didn't want to do all the Thanksgiving. So I went out and got like a big turkey breast and the stuff to make. We do stuffing with like, it's got sausage and bacon in it. It's really good. And we basically did that, and then our Thanksgiving dinner was just sandwiches.
Okay, you didn't even do, okay.
No, yeah, we didn't do, like, slice it up, we didn't do any sides, like, our usual sides were, like, green bean casserole, sweet potatoes, with your yams, with,
I love sweet potato casserole.
With the marshmallows on top, and what we do, sometimes mashed potatoes, what are some other sides we normally do? In the past, we did, like, brown bread, which I remember really liking, cranberry sauce I was never into. It's just like, yeah, whatever. It's fine. But yeah, those were normal ones. But so this one was very much like, you know, fuck it. We've been doing it for 15, you know, years now, or my dad's mindset. So nah. So that was it. We just had sandwiches and continued doing our things. So very uneventful, relatively speaking. But
my Thanksgiving wasn't eventful either, just because like there was more food cooked than like crafts, like, you know, those macaroni, mashed potatoes, stuffing, the turkey, pie. It was even cupcakes. But like, you know, it's just like we didn't like eat together or anything. It was just like made, and you know, just took some up to my room, ate it, and that was like really it.
Okay.
It was there was also like beans and fucking like bacon like chopped up in it. Like there was some other stuff that makes the beans a little different, but it's just
so how I've started to make baked beans, and how we can, because normally we just put it in dump the can of baked beans into a pot and heat them up basically. We stopped doing that. What we started doing is we have like a glass dish, and we get like more like the 16-ounce cans of baked beans, and drain out some liquid, dump that into the pan, then add in some barbecue sauce and brown sugar, varying, based on like the flavor of the beans or whatever. Then put bacon bits on top, and then bake that in the oven at like 350 or for like 40 minutes, and it's really good.
Yeah, I mean that's basically like the same idea. I don't know if there's barbecue sauce or whatever, but I know there's some kind of like other sauce in there.
Added stuff, right? Yeah, that's yeah. So we haven't gone back to the regular. I just heated on a stove baked beans ever since. So
I mean, okay. I guess what was just like unfortunate about my Thanksgiving was that like my brother came over, and at some point when I was at work or whatever, he brought over like friends, and they like fucking took up everything. So there was like no leftovers aside from some turkey, the beans, and no, it was just the turkey and the beans. Oh yeah, and the cupcakes. But I barely got like really any of the pie. Like I only had like a tiny slice of it, and I only had like a little square of macaroni.
No.
And it was like
that's
macaroni that's not often made because it's like, you know,
it's special,
my mom
right,
baked
like,
it in the oven, so it's like, and
Yeah,
usually it's just a
holiday
stovetop.
special thing where normally it's an easier to prepare thing, right? Yeah. Dang. No one set aside any for you. That sucks.
I mean, I'm sure it's one of those things where it's like, you know, you kind of just brought them over and nobody knew he was going to do that. So,
yeah, like what they had at dinner set aside over ended up getting eaten by other people.
Yeah.
So really, yeah, it was that there was no bouncer guarding the fridge, you know, fucking not allowing entry. Yeah. Was that it for your Thanksgiving then?
Yeah, that was it. Went to work after.
Okay. Well, because I went home for a couple days, right? And I have a story I want to tell. It is about the Madden League, but I think it's funny enough that it'll supersede like the fact that it's about Madden. But so I went home for a couple days, right? Like back to where I'm from, and I have two friends there that are two guys in the Madden League, and I asked them one night, I was like, "Do you want to hang out?" And so a side note to this is so we've had like our current franchise, and we're restarting it because we're adding new people, and so they're gonna draft teams. And everyone kind of wants to redraft and then just draft for long term, and then try to do a like multi season franchise and really play that out. But so because of that, like, we got a Google sheet from my brother, who's the commissioner, that was essentially rule changes, right? So do we want to change quarter length? Do we want to change whether or not players can get injured in practice? Just like a bunch of little things that'll change stats, right? And so I was there with my friends, and we all got the notification for it at the same time. And we just did what anyone would do when you all get like a sheet about something that you're in, right? We opened it up and started talking about it, you know? And so without thinking about it, we filled out the sheet together. In most of the things, we had like the same opinion. But the one that I'm sure is super obvious is we were talking about the trade deadline. And we were like, yeah, we'll move the trade deadline a little bit back. And one of us was just like, how about week 10? And the other two were like, yeah, week 10 sounds good. So we just wrote down week 10. Not thinking that from the person who's going to get the Google sheet and look through it, oh, I'm going to see 3 people make the trade deadline longer, and then put in other and wrote down week 10. So from his perspective, when he gets it, it's clear that we were fucking colluding, right? We have created a political party inside this Madden League without even fucking meaning to, and there was clear collusion to affect the rules of the Madden League, which is fucking funny. Because we didn't even intend it to, like, you know, we're sitting here colluding at fucking Freebirds getting burritos. But, so now I have more leniency towards real collusion. It can sneak up on you, man. You don't know if it's happening. Sometimes you're just hanging out with your friends getting a burrito. Next thing you know, it's, you know.
I love that. The moral of the story, political corruption just happens. It just sneaks up on you sometimes.
Don't know. Sometimes you can just be hanging out and all of a sudden, you know, your friends tell you something.
We got a global monopoly now because these two CEOs shook hands.
It happens. And so, yeah, but then for Thanksgiving, it was fine. We did it on Wednesday because, my sister couldn't come home.
Thing.
Yeah, it was like scheduling. My sister didn't get to come home from college, but she wouldn't have anyways. And then, you know, it was like me, my little brother, my mom, her boyfriend, and then my older brother and his girlfriend. And it was pretty small. We had a lot of food, and we ate it, and then had pie. But the most exciting part was my little brother started working at Chick-fil-A. And I haven't gotten to go, you know, obviously be a good big brother and go see him at Chick-fil-A because I'd been, you know, up here. Mm-hmm. But I was down there, and he left for work. And after already commenting on how I liked his cute little outfit, right, with the little Chick-fil-A hat and coat and stuff he wears when he has to go, he left. And so then me and my older brother went to go through the drive-thru at Chick-fil-A. And he broke down. Like, his brain exploded when he saw us. It was so funny. He turned and was walking to the car in front of us to give them their food. He sees us, turns around, walks back, turns around, walks to our car, then goes to the correct car because he's fucking falling apart. Oh my God, it was so funny.
Wonder you hate your brother.
What do you mean?
He's fucking... I'm sorry, you're stupid if you work at Chick-fil-A. Actually, the most smooth brain thing you can ever do.
Why?
You know how busy Chick-fil-A is? You could pick any other place, but you pick Chick-fil-A. Like, you're
That
just
is true.
asking to literally die.
I don't think I've ever seen a Chick-fil-A line that doesn't at least almost wrap around the building.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
it's pretty
you're
good.
actually, like, smooth brain. I'm sorry.
I don't get it. Like, I really don't get, because I think Chick-fil-A's good, but I hate that line, so I don't go as much. I don't get how Chick-fil-A is, like, as popular as it is, honestly.
I mean, it's pretty good, but, you know, I don't know if it's that good.
Yeah, it doesn't even have my favorite chicken sandwich anymore. I have a new favorite fast food chicken sandwich. It's actually pogged up. Fucking.
What chicken sandwich is that?
There's a KFC near me, and I hadn't been to KFC in fucking years, right? But there's one near me, and I've gotten their chicken sandwich a couple times. I actually really like it.
I haven't tried it.
I think that the chicken, this could just be my KFC, but the chicken on the sandwich isn't actually great. But the sauce, I don't know if it's like a sauce or if it's just fucking actually gravy. But whatever like the sauce on the sandwich is so fucking good. It like makes that sandwich like 10 times better.
I would assume it's not the gravy because I don't think KFC's gravy is particularly good. So
okay. Well, I really like the sauce on the sandwich. I think it makes it like real fucking good.
Neat. So what else happened while you were with your family? Because it sounds like you had a more eventful Thanksgiving. If you had any more to say.
All that other. Then we went to the Dollar Tree. Me, my brother, and his girlfriend. And I know. And they said I could get one thing. It sounds so childish to say, but like he meant it as a joke, but also seriously. We walked in my brother's church. We said you can get one thing. And then when we were leaving, he was like, "You're not gonna pick out your one thing." And we'd been through the store and seen some shit. So I guess I have to take a picture of this, right? It's a movie. It's a DVD case. It's got a movie in it. It's called Cartel 2045, and it's starring Danny Trejo. It says a new breed of drug war, and there's a mech behind Danny Trejo. Hold on, I'm taking a picture. I'll send it. It's fucking amazing. It's my favorite movie I've never seen.
How are you gonna watch it? Like, in what context are you going to submit yourself to?
I don't know.
Like drinking game with friends? Are you gonna watch it sad and alone in your room? Like, you know, it sounds like something you need to be in the environment for.
I'm not sure because like part of me thinks that like I should just sit down and just like watch it and just like see where it takes me. But part of me also thought, how funny would it be to just own this movie and never watch it? You know? Like have this as like a centerpiece, right? Like everyone comes in and sees Cartel 2045 and they ask me, how's the movie? I've never seen it. Because the movie,
you just make shit up as though you've seen it, and you say something different about the movie every time.
The movie that I can build up in my head that this is going to be so much better than what it actually is. But look at this. How could I not pick this as my one thing? Look at that. The back says it's the year 2045. The war on drugs in Mexico has escalated as drug cartels are robots to use robots to reinforce their operations. A Marine goes to Juarez in search for his brother's killer, played by Danny Trejo, who leads the robotic cartel.
I love a perfectly enjoyable old school sci-fi action movie. And it's like it barely even sounds like a compliment. Like it's perfectly enjoyable. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think there have been 3 people who have seen this movie, and I don't know if I want to become number 4. But if I do watch this movie and it's wild, I'll make a video about it. I'll say that. But I also just never have to watch the movie to do that. But it's so insane to me that this existed. Like, I saw this, I was like, I have to get this.
I just went to Letterboxd, and there are actually like a few dozen people who've seen it. Well, because it's on Letterboxd under Juarez 2045, so
what the fuck? The DVD I have is wrong?
No, I guess it's an actual like Mexico made movie that you have that's the English name, I guess. Yeah, no one there's like those reviews are all.
Will this
low.
movie be fucking dubbed?
Oh
my god! I almost have to watch. I'm so excited. What the fuck?
Is it dubbed now you have to watch the dub and the sub, and you have to like compare them. Oh god. This is some best of the worst shit.
Yeah, it is. I can't believe I got it on. I have it in my hands. I'm so excited.
All right. What else can we talk about? Because see, it's my problem is that all I do is like, or like, what do we focus on the podcast? It's like media discussion. Oh, all I do is discuss media. Nothing happens. So, yeah, I could talk about, I don't know, content or things I'm going through that I'm not going to talk about on the weekly roundup. But I don't know. It doesn't sound like a discussion.
Oh, you know what? I guess I won't talk about. I want to fucking complain about what I said I was going to complain about, but it would require us going back to that old topic. Well, I complained about it a little bit, but I want to complain.
Go for it. Whatever.
I hate trade evolutions. I'm just going to say it. I cannot stand trade evolutions in Pokemon.
And Pokemon.
They're fucking...
baby.
Yeah.
We were talking about this before. We talked about Pokemon for a long time, and it was like, look, I cannot fucking stand trade evolutions. I think they're fine, I think, at the beginning of Pokemon, and they're okay in like the newest game, when, especially now that the internet's a thing, right? Where it's the newest game.
Yeah.
I don't mind I didn't mind trade evolutions when I was playing Soul Silver, and my brother had a Heart Gold file, and he would trade with me whenever I wanted. But and then I didn't mind it in Sword and Shield, and I don't mind it too much in Brilliant Diamond. But it sucks to go back and play old Pokemon games. If I want to play Soul Silver right now, unless I want to do some hacking, I can't use a Scizor or a Machamp or a fucking Alakazam. Like, cool fucking Pokemon are just locked off to me. And it's bullshit. And, like, it just ruins going back and playing the older games. And then also, there's, like, Pokemon that, like, would just be way more popular if they didn't have a trade evolution, right? So, Crafts and I were talking about this, right, Nun? But, like, Gengar, Machamp, Alakazam are all pretty popular trade evolutions, right? Like, people go out of their way to trade for them, right?
Okay.
Nobody in their right mind has ever fucking used a Golem. Because nobody's going to go out of their way to trade it, because it looks so awful. He looks like a little fucking goblin, and I know that's the point.
Okay, you're toxic.
Right? So
like
nobody's
Golem.
going to go out of their way to get a Golem.
I mean, I used a Golem in my one of my most memorable Pokemon files, but I also like I was talking about is because I played Pokemon with my family, and I literally still have like multiple Game Boys and link cables. So if I wanted to, like, I can't actually do any trading in Generation 2, but I could finish the Pokedex out in Red and Blue if I wanted to, just by like going through both games and getting every Pokemon and trading, like, so, but that's not easy for people to do. Like, I still have physical copies. Like, that's what we were also talking about, was like, because like, apparently the physical copies of Pokemon games are worth literally like dozens to hundreds of dollars. But no one's buying them, because if you really just want to fucking play Pokemon, you can emulate them. But if you emulate them, then you can't engage in mechanics like trading, when you could physically. Like, if you actually want to complete a Pokedex in Red and Blue, you either have to like emulate and then use cheats or whatever to evolve Pokemon that you can't, or you have to spend literally like dozens to hundreds of dollars on 2 Game Boys, 2 physical copies of the game, and a link cable.
One, I wanted to say I've used Golem in fucking Sun and Moon, the Alolan Golem. Though I have been locked out of using regular Golem, because when I played Heart Gold, I just had a Graveler the entire time. So
wait, Alolan Golem's fucking awesome. I didn't know this was a Pokemon.
Yeah, he's fucking great.
No, he's forgot about him, honestly, but he's cool.
It's actually low key, like, and I remember when I was like,
I
playing,
would want to
like,
use this.
Showdown.
This is fucking awesome. Look at his low mustache and beard.
Since he has Magnet Pull, he was like a fucking. He's not
killer,
like,
right? Because
he's not like a great Pokemon, but he's one of those Pokemon that's like. See, I don't remember like the fucking like actual terminology I could use competitively, because I know there's like.
It sounds like
I
he
would
has a
have for it, but
specific
it's
use
like,
that's probably done better by other Pokemon. But I mean, how many other ground Pokemon? Or no, I don't think I think he's Rock Electric, right?
Yes. But he still
can
has
learn
Earthquake,
yes.
and if he Magnet Pulls like Heatran, for example, you can still Earthquake that. He is slow,
right.
but like a Choice Scarf Magnet Pull, fucking Alolan Golem can get some surprise stuff if you trap the right
It's
things.
like a very niche Pokemon that isn't the most useful thing, but it has some very specific uses that it can be worthwhile in, especially like considering like there might be Pokemon who can do that same role or do something similar better. But or do it, but yeah, he as a
at least off the
killer,
top of my head though, I can't think of a Pokemon that has Magnet Pull plus Earthquake. I can't think of one.
Right. Like, because obviously, like, what Pokemons have Magneton, or Magnum Zone.
Yeah, a lot of
doesn't
electric
have Earthquake,
types,
right?
or
It might have
steel
I don't
types.
even think it would have Earth power or anything. And even if it had hidden power of Ground, like, it wouldn't be as strong as Earthquake. And because Golem has a decent attack stat too, so that is a really cool niche that he fills. But so yeah, that's I like those kind of hyper specific Pokemon are neat. But okay, yeah.
Another thing I wanted to bring
he's
up
annoying to get because of the trait evolutions. But anyway, go ahead.
was I was kind of thinking about it earlier a little bit about how like I get why people have problems with like trait evolutions and also like two versions locking people out of certain Pokemon and kind of having to, you know, trade and all that stuff. But like thinking about it, I don't know if I feel like people are owed or obligated to fucking be able to get every Pokemon without like trading and stuff, because it's like I almost feel like what it offers to the audience that it's going for with having trading and having this social element to the game is like more worth it than the pain it causes to like adults or older people who don't want to like trade and don't want to
No, yeah, I think especially when you consider like, because think about just growing up with Pokemon is like, I think it was, you know, it helped my my mom, because my mom, me and my brother played it a lot, so we would trade, we would battle much rarely, we would talk about the games. I could talk to random people about Pokemon because it's such a big franchise, which you can still do, but the link trading gives you a different like way to engage with people, right, and your friends and stuff. And
yeah,
so
but when I want to fucking trade, and it's fucking 3:00, and I finally found I spent 2 hours doing goddamn petty thievery and stealing from fucking Bronzors, trying to get the fucking metal coat so I can get Caesar, and it's fucking 3 a.m. I don't want to have to go into Discord and saying, hey, is anyone awake? I'm sorry to bother y'all. Can someone trade with me for my scissor? Because I kind of need it.
Just go to bed.
I wanted him now because I was at Dialga and I wanted to have Scizor before I went to Dialga.
like I kind of feel like, is it like that bad for people to not be able to get every Pokemon, like in the sense that like
if you specifically because that's the thing, is that the marketing definitely pushed like Pokemon gotta catch them all when that's not really like the point of the game. Like they give you bonus like the diploma for whatever, sure, or the certificate for, you know, they give you an in-game like, hey, you did it, nice job, but it's not like in fact that I would, the point of the game is more to like make connections with your Pokemon rather than just treat them like, collectible objects,
and it's also
right?
like if you're stuck with a Graveler, for example, you can still bond with that Graveler and still like that Graveler. Like I still really like the Graveler that I used in Heart Gold, even though I couldn't evolve it, and I used it up until the end, fought Red with it, and it was still a good experience because it's like, I did accept the Graveler for what it was, and I couldn't get a Golem, but I still used it. But
if you do have the goal of getting a certain Pokemon, like Vindy's talking, like, or getting all the Pokemon, like, as a personal, like, if you like 100% in games, then, yeah, it does become a bit of a chore. Because, like, that's the thing, is, like, because when I'd be playing Pokemon, I'd have to be like, hey, Mom, can you help me trade evolution these Pokemon, or something like that? But it was mutual. If she needed a trade evolution, she could help me, right?
I think it is terrible for, like, older games, as Vindy mentioned earlier, but I do think for newer games, if you're a kid with a lot of time, investing that time and figuring out worthwhile trades for other people to get what you want, and spending and you have a lot of time to spend to trade with people and try and get everything you need. I think it is like still good and worthwhile how Pokemon is, especially when I used to some extent extend more, not to some extent, a lot of I've spent a lot of time doing extra shit in Pokemon that I didn't need to, that I don't do now. But when I had more time and like more patience and engaged with it a lot more, I do think it makes sense for Pokemon to be how it is.
Well, I think you can have, I think version exclusives still have the trading thing without lugging behind, because I think evolution with some Pokemon can be so important. It's not even the same as just like it's like I can't have the Pokemon. It's like you are just making the game harder for yourself, but like it does suck not having a fully evolved Pokemon and knowing you could.
I do think it is kind of dumb in the sense that like you have to trade away your Pokemon and then trade it right back just to get the evolution.
And then,
like,
unless your friend
stupid.
presses B and stops the evolution, you don't even get to fucking see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's evolving with someone else, and it's like, yeah. And I feel like when they first made trade evolutions, it was probably like more so for the other person to keep that Pokemon and kind of like...
No, yeah, that's what I was thinking about, like, because I was just thinking about, because, you know, we're doing the Pokemon podcast now, and maybe if there's a point where, like, we want to mess around with that trading functionality when we're, you know, with Gen 6 when we're actually able to trade online, because obviously we can't do it in Gen 5, because even if you do have physical games,
that'd be really cool. Y'all should trade one Pokemon
yeah, I was thinking
each
like
other.
if we do like right, so like when we play X and Y, we do a thing where like we choose one Pokemon and we trade it to the other at a certain point in the game after using it.
Yeah, that'd be so cool.
Then like right, so after like 4th or 5th badge, like, okay, this Pokemon that I've been raising for a little while, I'm gonna trade it to none, and then we have to use that one Pokemon or something. It could be a trade.
Yeah, and you can either, and then y'all have to figure out. You have to make it. Yeah, either a trade evolution or a version exclusive, and then also you could do, does Crafts pick his team and then pick one Pokemon to give away, or does None tell Crafts going in what Pokemon he wants to be traded to him?
Or
no,
maybe,
I probably wouldn't do that.
Or we
I
could
think
keep
it'd be
it
cooler
like
if it was
quiet
a surprise.
and. Right.
Okay,
so
Crafts, you pick the Pokemon that you're trading, and None, you would pick the Pokemon that Crafts is trading.
Yes, and then we keep it quiet until after we do our 4th and 5th badges.
Also,
and then,
super interesting.
Yeah.
Because then you have to like build whatever you get into your team.
Right, which might involve like, okay, well, I already have a fire type, so but I have to use this one, so we'll probably have some like limits, like obviously like like we'll probably know about each other's starters and stuff, but no, that's and then we could also experiment with it because if we do it in every game from like X and Y onward, then that could be fun too.
I just remembered somebody was talking about apparently the 3DS online shit's going down. I don't know if that's true because that's literally the only person
you're not gonna
heard
from
say
what
that,
I remember. You're not going to be able to like buy games, I guess. But hopefully you can still use certain online functionalities. But I do remember hearing something to that effect, which is very unfortunate because if we can't trade on the 3DS. Because I was thinking about that because we can't do because in theory if we might have been able to like trade online with Black and White if we both had physical copies, but we can't because their service is down. So there's they're basically on offline only games now, so there is no online trading, even though they had that functionality. So, that's unfortunate. But no, that does sound like fun when we get around to those games. Which, getting around to the Pokemon games might happen sooner rather than later. But you didn't hear that from me.
Yeah, they might, especially. I did. There's one other game I wanted to finish first before I was really in the mood to get to Pokemon, but pretty soon.
Mm-hmm. What's something? Hold on. I'm just trying to think because Vindy has chosen both the subjects so far. So I'm just trying to think of, like,
I have something for you.
What?
And it'll be for me as well. Fucking, how about you give a little status update on YouTube content?
What the fuck?
All right.
Don't worry, I'll force myself into it too.
We're all normies.
We can
on
just
the
go
same
around
fucking
and talk about
boat.
Everyone's.
I guess this is by saying this, you'll know what I mean when it comes out, as well as like don't get your hopes up by what this means. But if I were to use, I guess, film development terms for We're All Normies too, it's in production, meaning I'm filming things occasionally, or it's been filmed and it needs to be edited, right? So it's not just like, oh, I haven't done anything for this video yet, but I don't think I'll have it out until the end of the year, just because I'm lazy and I have finals. Like I have the final week before finals next week, and then finals the week after, and I'll be home for like over a week for Christmas. So I won't be at my computer. So it'll take me probably till the end of the year, realistically, to have it done. But it's a video, so
I see. Okay, I guess I'll go next. So I do I guess make jokes about me not making videos anymore, or never gonna finish anything or whatever. But I am working on things. I I did have a 12-page script that I finished and recorded already, but I mean, it's not the first video that I plan on finishing, but it does exist. In general, my videos seem to be getting longer because, I don't know, I guess I'm just reaching that point where they're getting longer, but it's probably a bad point to start reaching that because now I'm having trouble finishing things. Even if they weren't long, I'd still probably have trouble finishing things, but it's like a bad time to fucking have things that I have to do more for when I'm not able to work on them as much. So it's just taking even longer. But I am very excited for what I'm working on because I think it's pretty different overall than what I've been doing so far. And I'm excited to see how certain things get received, especially the one that I'm most interested in working on. I am going to try to finish that one, but I do have to it is I read the series. Okay, I mean, I guess this will narrow what the video is down some, but it's whatever. You're not gonna be able to figure it out exactly. I did read the series this year, but I want to read it again, just because in the time that I've been working on it, I think particular parts of the series I kind of need to refresh myself on. So, and I do feel like most of it's one or two arcs toward the endish area that I really need that for, but I just decided to read the whole thing again because I feel like it'd be the most helpful to just do that. But I am going to try to finish that, but like Vindy, I'm not going to guarantee it'll be done by the end of the year or whatever. But yeah, I am planning on trying to put into practice some things that I looked at in some other YouTubers that I thought would be good to try out for myself. Yeah.
Cool. So for me, as established, I have no other obligations like school or work holding me back from being a fucking demon and working on a million things at once. Even though I haven't had a video this month, I was going to make a Novid video, but then I started watching because basically the prompt for Pause the Selects Novid is for this year is you have to do a literature review and respond and incorporate 3 other videos and frame your argument around them basically or in response to them. So I did all the research. I had a bunch of notes prepared. And then I started watching the YouTube videos, and I literally watched one, and I was like, oh yeah, I don't like watching anime YouTube videos. I struggled to watch it, basically, and then when I thought about that in regards to, all the other videos I had to watch, I just decided to not do it as a no-vid video, so I'm still working on it, but it just won't come out this month. The video being about Kill la Kill, in relation to it being or not being a magical girl series, which I guess to spoil the main thesis and what I've sort of how I feel doing a bunch of research into older magical girl series, and the things that Kill la Kill was influenced by. Basically, it is a transforming hero show, and people look at Sailor Moon, which is also a transforming hero show, and see the similarities because they are ignoring the other transforming hero shows, or even how magical girl series use transformation in a different way, and not recognizing Sailor Moon's influences or Kill la Kill's influences. And so I kind of want to talk about that, and that's the video. It's scripted. I just need to revise it and so it's good. Or it's drafted rather. It's not, I think it has some problems still. And so that's the one video I've been working on most of the month, which I had to watch a bunch of shit and read a bunch of shit for it. I did the research in a pretty good time because I really focused on it. But yeah. And I guess but mostly what I've been doing lately is I had the idea of preemptive research for a Chainsaw Man video in the event that Chainsaw Man airs and people are dog shit stupid about it. It's changed the shonen forever. That kind of unprecedented shonen manga, and I'm just stop, I'm gonna hit you. It's a seinen in shonen's clothing, that kind of shit. So I was doing some research into older, darker shonen manga. I read Devilman, or even just I have a reading list of just specifically darker shonen jump manga. and I've been reading Barefoot Gen lately, which, you know, is based on the true events of the author who lived through the Hiroshima bombing, so it is really fucking dark. And so I have like that reading list, and then I have like a list of things that influenced Chainsaw Man, as said by Fujimoto, that I had been going through, and I still need to. I'm at the point where basically all I have to do left on the Chainsaw Man side of things is read Fire Punch and reread Chainsaw Man, and then I still have the list of darker Shonen Jump titles to go through. So I've been doing that more recently, but I'm probably going to go back to the Kill la Kill video after I edit this episode of the Weeb Club, and I have constant other ideas and projects that I have in the back of my mind. Like, I'm still planning that really big Danganronpa video. I just haven't I did beat the free times for Danganronpa 2, but I still need to play Ultra Spirit Girls and you know, the rest of the franchise that I haven't finished, and you know, stuff's happening. It's, you know, coming, but yeah, that's about it as far as, you know, main channel stuff.
I also had a Novid video idea, but I don't have the time to do it. But it was already a video idea that I had, so it's like it's not that I thought about it because of Novid. Like, I didn't first come up with the idea because of Novid.
But
it did
I was already
make me think about it more a little bit, so it helped me solidify the idea. I guess I'll just talk about the idea. It was basically
that was going to be one of my questions, is asking what it was, because I was going to do the Kill la Kill video at some point anyway. The Novid prompt just made me like move it up to doing it now, when normally I would have done it like way later. So what was your video idea?
It was basically looking at Dragon Ball and kind of looking at how over time the arcs changed in terms of like structure, and how it basically like giving the series a lot of credit in ways that other people haven't, in terms of being able to implement so many different characters and kind of, you know, really change the dynamics of what was going on. Because like Dragon Ball gets the criticism of being like the Goku show or whatever, but like the other part of the story more than anything isn't that. Whereas like, you know, I don't think people ever complain about like the original Dragon Ball earlier part of the story being the Goku show, and it's not, but it's like it would be closer to being that if you really wanted to, like, I mean, you know.
I do remember Myster Fusion in his discussion of Red Ribbon Army does bring up that as a criticism of it being Goku focused. So at least it's
not as like
of,
common, I would say, that people complain about that.
Which,
in Dragon Ball.
I think also in general, it's not as common for people to talk about the original Dragon Ball in the first place, just because the later stuff just dominates so much of the discourse, because it's like what's in the, you know, cultural sphere of the English speaking community, and what, you know, is given the most focus, just, you know, in general. Sorry.
I guess a lot of what I wanted to talk about in the video was just kind of like how in, like, you know, I wanted to kind of talk a lot about the characters in the original part of the series, and kind of like how a lot of their story got concluded there, and then like I would just call it Z, like in Z, the Saiyan arc was very much used as a way to kind of like, you know, the scale of the story has gotten so out of hand that, like, well, not out of hand, but like it's gotten so large that like the threats that they're facing make these people who were at one point the strongest in the world look like, you know, fucking, like, you know, animals at the side of the road. Fucking, you know. Yeah, and like it's used in a specific way to kind of usher in the next part of the story, and it isn't like, it's not in this way that people view it, that it's like the characters are just like now useless and kind of like now I don't know, it's hard to explain like what I mean by that, like just like off the top of my head, but it's like kind of they're whatchamacallit, it's not just like pushing them out because they're not they're not strong enough, or that like they couldn't be like it's kind of like doing a thing where it's like they like I think they were first to be kind of outmatched, and a lot of what Dragon Ball Z is doing is just kind of like these older characters eventually get outmatched by these new threats, and it happens even to Goku and stuff, but it's like it's just like that part of the story is doing that in general, and it just starts with those characters who already had their story be over. So at the start of this new part of the series, it's kind of doing that to them first to shift them out of the focus and, you know, put in new characters in focus. And I also just kind of want to talk about like the structure of arcs in terms of like, you know, how Namek, for example, doesn't have Goku be part of it for a while, and it's just Gohan and Krillin, and like, you know, even though Gohan and Krillin aren't as strong as some of the newest characters and like Frieza, and you know, they're still like really relevant and important to that part of the series. And like I think Dragon Ball does a lot of smart things to be able to use the characters it's using at the time, and I think it only gets better as the series goes on with being able to do that,
which is an unpopular take, or an uncommon one at least.
Like I think it's really underrated how Dragon Ball clearly switches its cast up and who's the most important. That's fine. Like it's really not a problem that Yamcha or Tien isn't like part of the later part of the story, because they already had Dragon Ball. And like, even though Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z aren't like a true split in the sense that like they don't change names in the manga still does like have a little like, before the Z part of the story starts, it has like a little it has like a I forget what it, like, I don't know what it's called, but it's like...
Are you talking about the narration bubble that says 5 years after the events of Dragon Ball, with the little asterisk, like, the previous series, when it's like, motherfucker, it's the same story.
Yeah, but it still does have that time skip, and...
Right. Oh, I thought you were talking about specifically the English release, and how it...
I mean, I think even in the original, it does, like, say there's gonna be like as Goku rides off with Chi-Chi,
but it doesn't refer to the older stuff as like, well, yeah, and it does mention like, oh yeah, this isn't the end of the story. But it's still clearly shifting.
And it's a lot of what
I just got mad because I thought about the way that it's handled in English as two different manga instead of one. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's cool. But yeah, that's definitely like a video idea that I had, because I think there's a lot that I can observe about what it's doing that a lot of people haven't. I have some other ideas, but I don't want to, fucking say everything of the video, but yeah.
Okay. Though you did remind me that, I mostly didn't think of it because I've already recorded it and sent the audio to someone to edit, but I'm also working on a Dragon Ball video that will likely be around or less than half an hour long, so that should be fun. Hopefully it turns out good, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm ready to move on to Blue Period if we're done with the general discussion.
Yeah, works for me.
All right, we actually, Blue Period episode 7 is real this week.
It's good.
Sad. It's a good episode. I liked, Yaguchi being real to his feelings, because it's like, yeah, that is like a very set up thing even from the start, with how like, he was talking about how his friends in like episode 1 or whatever weren't exactly people he shared like all of their common interests or whatever, because like he was just smoking just because they did, or just going to drink because they did,
right?
So he was essentially kind of like delinquent in some ways just to be by their side. And like now that's kind of being brought up, because like I don't think him being fake was really addressed as much earlier. Like, yeah, like obviously we did know him faking things, but I don't think he ever faced that fact, if that makes sense. So it was cool to finally see that.
Yeah, no, I really liked the conversation he had with his friend, with Koi, and how like they're just like 100% behind Yaguchi and him doing what he wants to, and like following his dreams like inspired him. And it's like I just really like that talk that they had. It was really good and cool. And how that went back to help Yaguchi with what he was working through with his art. And I
also like that his friend wanted to like do something that was like, seemed out of character, I guess, for him as well. Like, with Yaguchi doing art was such a surprise to everybody else, but his friend also has something like that. And even though we won't see what comes of it, I think, well, I mean, we could, I guess, but like it won't be a focus or anything, but like it is cool to know he influenced someone else to do what they want to do as well,
to be more genuine and real and do what they want. Yeah, and it's really cool. And yeah, other than that, I guess there was the just build up to the exams, and
yeah, I'm nervous for these fucking exams, dude.
Yeah. I'm not even taking them, and I'm nervous. And of course, with the way the episode ended with Yuka, and it's like the prompt is, self-portrait, and Yuka, who has problems with, how they express themselves, and just walked out, and it's like, fuck. Yeah, that was a rough way to end the episode, but but yeah, I don't have much more to say. I watched it last week anyway, so.
Yeah, I do think all the episodes are good, but I don't know. I still have felt the sense that like I'm a little tired of just watching the anime.
I'm kind of looking forward to the manga too. I mean, I'm still liking it, but it's like
I want to go through it faster, and not even faster. Like apparently this is going through it fast, but like I'd like to be done with the series in less than the 7 weeks.
We have to watch it one episode a week. Where like if we really wanted to, we could all be caught up with the manga by tomorrow, right?
Yeah, which would help because we'd be able to go through it all much more closely,
right? Because we could read it at our own pace, and which is going to be faster than one episode a week. So yeah, I gotcha. But anyway, if we're done with the episode, what have you been up to this week? None.
Let me think. Oh yeah. I watched Batman. Actually, it's just called Batman. It's the 1989 one.
Oh, the Michael Keaton one.
Yeah, and I also watched Batman Returns.
Okay.
I liked Batman 1989. I thought it was a good movie. I'm surprised, like, I didn't really know too much about it going in, so I didn't know that, like, it is in part, like, a romance story between Batman and Vicky Vale. Like, I didn't, like, I never really heard about that part of the movie, but I thought it was really good. Like, I think in general, I get a lot out of seeing, like, superhero romance in the sense that, like, for the heroes who hide their identity and really have it, like, as a split life kind of thing where it keeps interfering with their normal life. I get a lot out of seeing that romance between that, that character who's able to be the one person who sees into their world. Yeah, I will at some point.
Okay.
And like, I could tell why that kind of like connects to me in a sense that it's like, I also feel like a,
you have your secret online double life that you keep from people.
No. It's, I mean, like, I definitely have always wanted a kind of like it goes back to the same thing where it's like, I've said like I want my own Naruto, it's like I also want that like one person who really understands me and like gets me and kind of like sees what other people don't in a sense. So like that's part of why like I really liked the romance between Peter Parker and Mary Jane and in the Raimi trilogy, like especially like that one line that I really like in Spider-Man 2, where Mary Jane's basically telling him who's gonna save the superhero or whatever. I don't remember the exact way she says it, but it's like that line's just fucking like so good to me. So like that I really liked seeing that in Batman 1989. I'm sad that Vicky Vale isn't in Batman Returns. They fucking broke up, which is sad. I thought it was a little dumb thinking about it too, because it's like, at least by the end of Batman 1989, Vicky does accept it and she does understand. So it's like, for it to be explained that she eventually basically couldn't really deal with the two sides of Bruce Wayne and Batman, was kind of like, I don't know if I really am into that, especially with it, obviously happening off screen. I did like seeing the Joker in Batman 1989, because it's pretty different from Jokers that I'm familiar with, in the sense that, like, I think a lot of the Jokers that I've seen don't have as like solidified origin. Like, I feel like it's a lot more
right. Like
vague.
it's taken the much more modern perspective, or not the modern, but like I guess it's closer. I guess like the comic books, where it's, you know, the Joker isn't like he doesn't have like this crazy backstory, right? Because the part, like, in some ways you can look at it, the point of the Joker is that he doesn't have all that, but then yeah, there are some Joker stories where it does give him like that backstory and stuff.
Well, usually the one that I'm familiar with him having, if he has any, is the Red Hood backstory, where he was the thief called the Red Hood and he ended up in the chemicals. But you know, but beyond that, he usually doesn't get much that I know of, or at least nothing concrete, which is, you know, kind of the
like we basically have like usually don't have an idea of the guy he was before he was Joker, like the specific fucking
exactly.
his name and all that. Whereas Batman 1989 has that.
Okay, see, I haven't seen the movie, so I don't actually know.
Which I think is
funny,
I
mean, it's not like
because
go ahead.
Then like that idea was the entire basis for the Joker movie, right? Was like the entire movie is who he was before he becomes the Joker, right? And that's actually great, because like that's all you get, and it feels very different. It's like I have you know, like I love the meme of like your Joker moment, right? But like you could even imagine that with like the crazier versions of the Joker, where it's like something happened to this guy, right, that turned him into what he is. So like all Jokers, all versions of the Joker would technically have that Joker moment. So it's Pog. I like it.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I also kind of think seeing like how fights work in these older movies is kind of cool, in the sense that it's like, yeah, they're not as like, there's not as much spectacle to them, and they're kind of really simple in their movements. But I don't know, something about it is cool to see to me. Like, to give fucking bad series a compliment, like Toku, some of the simpler fighting styles, and like, I don't know, fucking Flashman, or what the fuck is it called? Flashman? Is it Flashman?
No, that's the one that you watched, the older one.
Okay. It sounded weird to me. Like, is it Flashman? I don't know.
No, yeah, you're right. It was Flashman.
Yeah, I kind of think like the simple hits and like the simple like people falling down from them are, I don't know, something about it, like I like to watch that. I don't know why. There's just nothing in particular that makes me feel like that I know of that makes me feel that way, but it's like, I don't know, I kind of like it. And Batman 1989 has that. So, you know, I liked it. I don't know if I like it as much as other people, in the sense that, like, you know, I don't think it's like the perfect fucking Batman origin story or perfect, you know, thing of Batman, but I thought it was good. I do have like one problem with the movie, especially with Returns. Like, after having seen Returns, I don't know if I should spoil this, because it is a spoiler, but I really want to say it. Crafts hasn't seen it.
I don't really go. I don't care.
Okay, so in 1989, Joker dies, and I don't have a problem with Batman killing him.
Actually, I was going to mention that my only real experience with the old Batman movies is, aside from like references and memes, like Bat Credit Card from I don't know which one.
That's Batman and Robin. That's the George Clooney Batman.
Okay, and I know some, like, whichever one, is that also the one with Mr. Freeze?
Yes.
And all the ice puns?
Yes.
So I know about that.
Mr. Freeze. That's right. The most memeable one.
Yes,
the Val Kilmer, Jim Carrey, Riddler, I don't think is as memeable as Batman and Robin, but it's also not as like good as Batman and Batman Returns are. So.
But I have, as a kid, seen scenes from that first Batman movie. In particular, I do remember the Joker falling to his death, and he had like the laugh, something, he had like a voice thing that helped him laugh or something like that. Like, he was still laughing after he died.
In his tie, there was like a little wires and machine.
So I vividly remember that from watching it as a kid. That is like the only thing I know about the movie. And everything else kind of blends together with the other Batman movies from that time period. So I'm not sure what's from what movie, except for, Batman and Robin and, Mr. Freeze. So, yeah. Keep going.
But what I had a problem with was that, this isn't the problem, but I'll say this first before moving on to Returns, because it's really what happens in Returns that makes the Joker thing now kind of like a little bit of a problem for me. But at least initially, my thing was just that I think it's just less interesting for Joker to just die, especially when it comes to like, I don't know, it felt really underwhelming that he just died at the end of the movie and that's it. Like it just kind of felt like what happened with the Joker didn't really amount to much, just because like I guess I'm just used to the whole dynamic of Batman and Joker being this thing where Batman needs to stop the Joker, but he can't kill him, so it just kind of causes this entire problem for how he's gonna rid the city of Joker's influence without killing him, especially when Joker can, potentially escape from prison, or or like even if Batman does end up killing him, which he has in other Batman series, it's this big thing that has a lot of weight to that decision Batman was forced to make. So it's like having that not be there at all and Batman just kills him, it feels weird to me because I'm not used to that. So it wasn't a problem because like I know back when this Batman movie was made, it probably wasn't as like it wasn't as defined of a trait Batman has of not killing his villains.
I think
real quick, there was some conversation on.
I saw that Year One had come out before this, but I still think one series really emphasizing that doesn't change like.
Well, no, what I was gonna say is that it's more than just like one comic book series. It's also about the pulp culture recognizability and what is known about the character, because when you talk about Batman, it's like, yeah, sure, the comics were really popular, but I think like the Adam West series and like what other media was popularizing stuff about the character outside of the comics, right? Like, because I think that like that's like I think especially that's notable. That's almost always been a talking point with comics, because even though the characters are super well known, I would argue that notable other media has eclipsed the comics, and like right now you have
everybody when it comes to like right? Spider-Man thinks fucking Raimi trilogy Spider-Man is everything about the character, and they keep like fucking they'll bash Tom Holland for not being like the Raimi trilogy Spider-Man, in which they decided to shape their entire view of Spider-Man around. Yeah, right. I definitely know what you're talking
specifically,
about.
So because someone posted, apparently it was even in like a very early Batman comics where and just general DC comic codes where there was the heroes couldn't use guns and stuff, and that sort of like evolved into Batman's no kill rule.
Yeah, I was gonna say
as just like a product of the time.
I don't agree.
So it was a thing from the early comics, but I was wondering like, okay, I don't know when it became a big pop culture thing.
That's
that
what
Batman
I was
gonna
say.
I wasn't.
I think that saying that Batman didn't have like. It wasn't hard baked into his character, hadn't already been hard baked into his character for 20 years not to kill is wrong. But I think it is fair to say that even if comics were maybe more relevant in the 80s than they are now, I think it's fair to say that like the movie probably didn't give a shit about being comic accurate, right? That's why
what I was gonna say is also like if you're
Joker like a backstory and stuff is because like really all it's trying to do is just be a movie completely adapting like the idea of Batman into something else, whereas I think now people want much more accurate portrayals of the
mythos of the characters, right? Or because and especially like when you consider like the pop culture idea of Batman, like okay, goofy Golden Age comics, the Adam West series, Batman killing or not probably doesn't it's not as important to the conversation in those more mainstream circles in the first place. So it's less about like having a no kill rule and more just like that just doesn't happen in these kinds of.
But now, that's what I was thinking about the him not killing in those. It's not that he, it's really just that like the way I phrased my question too was like, I was looking for if before this movie, was it did Batman specifically say I'm not gonna kill people or have a moral dilemma over it? Not just that he didn't kill,
right,
but more so was it like a point of like a topic within the actual series, whether or not he was gonna kill. So like, yeah, I do get that like censorship or just kind of rules prevented him from killing, but like I feel like it was it's a little different than the question that I was asking.
Because I'm not sure exactly when that became a thing. Because
everybody answered that like in 1987 the original run of Year One had come out, which, you know, again emphasizes that.
Okay.
But as far as like other comics, that was the only one that was pointed out to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, because as far as like, yeah, you have those movies that like from that spawning from that. I guess another point regarding the pop culture idea of Batman would be Batman the Animated Series, in which case that like was also a notable part of the conflict, to the point that like Batman Beyond starts when Bruce gives up being Batman because he threatens a person with a gun, and he does something he would never want to do, so he quits being the Batman, and so like it's just a notably important part in the animated series. So that would also be I guess a notable point as far as like that idea coming to pop culture. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and I think back then also the other thing about like even in pop culture, right, is, and this, you know, if say, you know, a version of a character comes out, right, and that version of the character in like a movie is very different than comic accurate version of the character, because of the internet, more people are going to know that it's not comic accurate and it's not what the character actually should be, because of places like Twitter and YouTube and shit like that. Whereas beforehand, you would only know that Batman doesn't kill people if you knew someone who read the comics, right? And so that's harder to find than to go online and see everyone saying that.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely, yeah, I mean, it was definitely something that I did consider. Like, a lot of these considerations is what made me not have a problem with it, because it's like, yeah, it makes sense in a lot of ways why him killing wouldn't be weird to people.
Even if, like, I can see it from, like, why they did it, I guess, I don't think I could ever get behind it, because I think Batman's no-killing rule is way too important, to where I generally just don't like any time it's broken. Just because, and I know that might be cringe, but, like, I feel like it's so fundamental to the character that unless you have, like, a really, really good reason for it, and you center, like, an entire story around that decision, I think having him break it at that point, it's like, is it really Batman, you know?
Sad. I mean, I guess this is a slightly off topic before I explain a little bit more about those movies. Is I was thinking something that could be really fucking cool, and I hope a comic has done it, is Batman at first, he does kill, but story-wise, the reason why he stops killing and realizes he shouldn't do this is when he gets Robin, and I think that'd be cool, because originally some of that censorship happened because they thought Batman killing around Robin would be weird, but I think it'd be kind of cool if they kind of used that in the sense that like Batman was changed as a person by when Robin came around. So I thought that'd be kind of cool to
explore.
Yeah. But anyway, about Batman fucking Returns. The reason why him killing Joker in Batman Return and in the original in 1980 I'm forgetting now. 1969 89 no it was 89 1989 is weird for Batman Returns is because Catwoman has this whole vengeance thing for Max in Returns, and Batman kind of says killing him won't solve anything, but this Batman killed the Joker who killed his parents out of vengeance. And he also killed Penguin as well. So he kind of just kills people.
And they don't really explore that hypocrisy or contradiction at all, I guess.
Yeah, and it's like, in my mind, I can reconcile the fact that this guy Joker is a lot worse than the person fucking Catwoman's trying to kill. But it's still really weird to like, Batman, you kill people. So it's like, you telling somebody else that it's like, not gonna solve anything is still like really like it's not something that I can easily get over because he already kills people. And Penguin might have been an accidental thing or like kind of just something he did. He didn't set out to really kill Penguin necessarily, but he did end up killing him. And also, if like I wanted to be really nitpicky, he probably ended up killing some other people too, aside from Joker and Penguin, because he did strap a bomb to some guy's chest.
I can't believe Zack Snyder's Batman was actually just fucking Tim Burton Batman all along. Holy fuck.
Yeah, like what happens is, so there's this big buff guy, or he's like, he might be just kind of fat, but whatever. He's like buff or fat buff, I don't know. Batman Like, the guy's basically like, come at me kind of thing. And Batman punches him and it has no effect. And then the guy, like, smiles or whatever. But then but I think Batman motions downward to, like, show him that he strapped a bomb to his chest when he punched him. And then after the bomb was on his chest, Batman, like, shoved him aside into some hole and the bomb blew up on him. So it's like,
that dude fucking died.
I could fucking assume the bomb wasn't powerful enough to kill him based on, like, the explosion not being super fucking huge, but it's still like, he's probably dead. Yeah, it's just weird to have a Batman who kills people, but then tells Catwoman.
Yeah, that's don't
killing
do
this
it.
guy
It won't
isn't going to
solve
solve
anything.
anything. Yeah.
Right, yeah. Because, like, see, me personally, like, you know, is it a good story? Is it an interesting character? And, you know, yeah, maybe Batman is more interesting when he, you know, has no kill rule, but I like to be open to alternatives, so I'm not going to get too fussed about it. But, like, in this case where it's, like, you know, just a weird, like, continuity thing that just doesn't make sense, and, like, you know, like, hey, if Batman's supposed to be a hypocrite in the movie, then that could be interesting to touch on. But, you know, it doesn't sound like it has that level of awareness or intentionality to it. So, yeah, unfortunate.
Yeah, and, like, even in general, I thought Batman Returns wasn't as entertaining for me, partially because it's, like, not because it's, like, just straight up worse or anything, but just because it's, like, it's not doing anything better enough to the point where it's, like, you know, I just watched 1989, so I'm, in some sense, it's more of the same, and for the first time, it's, like, it is the first time, so it's, like, I'm into it. But if it's not, like, getting too much better to me, it's not as impressive again, I guess, is what I felt. Like, it is a different movie, obviously, but it's, like, you know, I don't know. I didn't like it as much.
It didn't stand out enough to you to appreciate or like.
Yeah,
it as much.
and that's like, and then you add on those few problems that I had, then it just, like, isn't as good to me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I am gonna watch Batman Forever at some point. Pretty sure that's next. It's the third
Not
one.
Batman and Robin?
No, Batman and Robin is fourth. Next he has
Is
Val
after
Kilmer,
Forever.
Okay,
and
gotcha.
then is, Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I am.
God.
And my plan is basically to watch all the live action Batman series before the DCEU. No, not EU. Fucking, I don't fucking remember.
No, the new Batman
yeah.
movie. It's not DCEU.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, just
no. I mean, I'm planning. I want to watch it before I watch a bunch of the DC live action movies.
Like, right, but do you mean specifically like their MCU?
Yeah, their MCU.
That
I
is
just
the
don't
DCEU.
remember what the fucking.
It is the DCEU.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that. I also want to watch this live action Superman movies. For the Batman and Superman movies, I'm not watching, like, literally all of them, actually, but like with the Batman movies, I started at the point where they like I basically skipped, like, the non-serious stuff, I guess, like the
Adam West.
Yeah, the Adam West stuff. I don't know what if I'll skip anything with Superman or if I'll have to. I didn't look at those quite just yet.
Well, the problem is with Superman, I'm pretty sure even though there are multiple people I think that play him, there's only the one Superman series, and then there's Superman Returns and then Man of Steel. I forgot about Superman Returns.
And if you're just talking, like, live action in general, there's also Lewis and Clark, or Lois, and there's, like, a older live action show, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna watch any of the shows. I'm just watching.
Oh yeah,
movies.
that's right. Well, you mentioned Adam West, so I thought you were thinking about the shows as well.
Well, Vindy mentioned
Adam
Adam West.
Oh, okay, never mind. That was
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I was just brought up because those were the ones that I wasn't interested in watching, at least not right now. But yeah, I'm about done. You guys can talk about your thing. Is it Vindy next?
Yes, it's Vindy. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm
forgetting since Vindy's turn to bring up the order.
My turn.
Okay.
I watched Arcane, the League of Legends show. I technically watched it. It came out in 3-episode chunks, so I watched it as it was coming out. So I finished it right after we recorded last time.
Mm-hmm. No, I think you, like, after we were done recording, you basically said you were gonna go finish the show.
Yeah,
so
and I did. It's good. It's very good. It's hard for me to say how much someone would enjoy it with no knowledge of League, because I do still think it's really good, and I think it's at least up there for best looking animated like show I think I've seen. It looks so fucking good in some parts. And like,
is it CG or 2D?
CG.
That's what I thought. I just want to make sure.
There is some like, because like I know when like the episode starts, because like even the end of season 1 doesn't even get close to like getting to like League of Legends time in like the lore, right? But because I know, because like I know, you know, when League of Legends, I know like where all the characters are at and like a little bit of their lore that are in this show at least. In current League lore, I see where they start and I know where they're going to end up, right? And in some ways, I think the show can be helped knowing some of that, but you also, I think, don't lose anything by not, because it explains everything to you and like it treats it as like they're new characters, right? It just is interesting knowing how it's all going to play out. Not how it's going to play out, but like, you know, like point A and you know, like point Z, right? And like, even if this series ends on like point F, it's like, I know way further down the line.
Right.
So it's interesting watching it like play out, and I think it's like actually just a really good show. And like there are so many little League references that seeing all of them I was super hyped for, and I think not seeing them it wouldn't hurt it at all, because they're not intrusive, right? Like there's a bunch of named characters with faces and personalities that aren't even League of Legends characters. So even just the League characters aren't the only characters in the show that like even could look like League characters. So that is nice too, because it's not just as fucking like, you know, it's not like it's only the League of Legends characters. And so it's fucking, you know, oh, we can tell. And I think that's cool. Yeah, I think it's really good. I would recommend to anyone watch it. I think especially if you've played League or know a little bit about like the characters, you should. And then even if you haven't, it's actually a really good show. It's like 9 episodes, 40 minutes each. There's one episode where things get a little silly, and it is a little too much, I think, where an Imagine Dragons song does basically get a music video in the middle of an episode in Act 2. But that's the only time where it's like, all right, Riot, like, come on, dog. Besides that, I think it was really enjoyable, and I actually would recommend it. And I think it's interesting when you compare that to like because this whole like Arcane event, right? Like Riot was doing a whole thing across all their games, and they also released a couple like single player games that are like also set in the League world. And I think they're doing something really interesting where, you know, WoW was so huge for so long, right? It was like this monolith, even if it wasn't the most popular game in the world. It was, you know, one of them. Everyone knew what it was. You know, it had this huge like mass appeal, and it never leveraged that into anything else, right? Like there's the Warcraft movie, but that was like really bad, right? And sure, it did take Riot 10 years to start branching out, right? Like the game came out in like 2009, 2010. Just now we're getting, you know, multimedia stuff
like this.
But I think the difference is League took long enough to do it that Riot had a very stable foundation, and then did a bunch of things all at once. So it was like nothing until this year. But this year we've gotten 2 single-player games, the announcement of a bunch more, the announcement of a fighting game. We technically, I think, got the card game last year, but then we got the mobile version of League this year. So like they're branching League out in all these ways, which Riot never did with any of their properties, even though or Blizzard never did with any of their properties, even though they easily could. And I think it's really interesting how I think Riot's is going to actually super succeed and be really good for them. Where
yeah, well, and the fact that Arcane is like I've been hearing a lot of good things about it is like, you know, like it's not just that they're branching out, but also like as long as they keep doing like making good things, then that'll only help, I think. Yeah, neat.
Crafts.
I assume you're done.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was gonna talk about Kill la Kill, then that changed because I caught up to Chihaya Furu.
Oh.
And yeah, 47 volumes, and holy fuck. Okay, so like I've liked Chihaya Furu for a long time. I got into it in 2012. We did a whole backlog on it a while back for the first season of anime, which I still think is really good in some of the ways it changes the manga and adds to it. That the later seasons, even if I still like those later seasons, don't quite like elevate the material in the same way or in that way, even though I still think what they do adapt is great. But the manga has like 6 seasons worth of material, and it's like like, part of it is also just that I've been into it for so long. Like, I was literally, like, in tears / tearing up for, like, the first few volumes and, like, regularly throughout the entire manga because, like, I'm just so attached to it and the characters and, it's just, like, but there's, like, getting to some new material that I haven't read in a while or at all, like, it's so fucking good. It is insanely fucking good. The author is a madwoman. Like, minor spoilers. They're in presumably the last match right now, as in like the queen match. And there's like it's been there for like a little while now, or for a few chapters, and they've been like there have been so many fucking character moments that have happened, like really good character moments with like so much of the cast in general in the last part of the story. Even just like there's one character who's like a reader who is a friend of another reader who's been a minor character at this point. She was basically just introduced this arc, and she gets like a whole fucking chapter, and it is so fucking good. Like, the art's not its strongest suit, or like it's not like where I love the art like I do with some of my other favorite manga, but it's still like really good, and Chafu is just so fucking good. Hold on, I was trying to find my list of characters that I really like. Damn it. 1 second. Okay, so in no order, here's like, this is the characters I like love. Like, really like, basically. Chihaya, Nishida, Shinobu, Sumire, Kana, Komano, Taichi, Arata, Harada, and Hyodo. Then there's a bunch of other characters who I still really like, but just not as much. Because, like, there's just so many times where, like, think about a character and I'm like, yeah, I like them, and they'll see them on screen. I'm like, oh my god, I love you. Even if I don't like them as much as, like, the list I just shared. It's my second favorite manga right now. Like, it surpassed Sangatsu.
No!
Which is insane to me. I still love Sangatsu,
no!
Don't get me wrong. But Chihaya, it is
every day Craftsdwarf.
fucking
people
phenomenal.
that are not named me stray
I
one
feel
step
like
further
having-
from the light.
I feel like you having Chihaya Furu as your number 2 instead of Sangatsu is more fitting, because you
It
always
is more fitting to
talk about
Craftsdwarf.
Chihaya Furu
It is more
more.
fitting about for Craftsdwarf, but he strayed one step
And
further
also
from the
Chihaya is like a
light.
character, seems more like a crafts character than
What was that? Or sorry, what was that, Nun, that you just said? I didn't hear it.
I said it. Chihaya as a character is more fitting than like Rei as a crafts character.
I understand. No, because like I do really still really love Sangatsu, and it's probably still my third favorite manga right now. But like, well, like especially like the two things that really hit me with Chihaya Furu is one, like, so this is just still season 1 stuff, so I don't think it's a spoiler. But because just the way that the group comes together, and like what the group like is where you have like, they all are interested in or like Cartel for their own reasons. Chihaya in particular like loves it, but they all have their diverse perspectives and offer different things to the group. Like Kana has her love of the poetry and the meaning and the imagery and stuff. Where Komano has like he's smart, so he looks at the data and has all these these numbers and stuff. And they just like the idea of this diverse group that has these different perspectives and is able to help everyone mutually appreciate Carta more. Which I realized like, I kind of like with the Weeb Club, where we all have our different perspectives and we talk about art and we help appreciate the things that we like more by offering perspectives that the other people don't have. Like, oh, I value this diversity aspect of Chihaya, and I even mentioned it on the backlog episode, where part of the reason I think I connect to Chihaya Furu is because these characters really care about this thing that lots of other people don't, right? And which I connected to with me having such an interest in art and discussing it, where to most people it's just entertainment. My voice is fucking up. So like, I don't know. I've always connected to the aspect of Cartoon, realizing even more about, or of Chihaya Furu, and realizing even more, rereading it is good. And the thing is just like seeing how like the characters, and this applies to a lot of things, but probably because I connect to Chihaya Furu more, is just seeing the characters like work hard and seeing that the constant ways that they work to improve not only their Carta but even like help the general like world of Carta. There was like, so I mentioned my Dragon Ball video earlier, and I was a bit struggling a bit with the script because I didn't know how to start the video, because I didn't want to have like some big grand point or whatever. And then I kind of, so I just kind of like, I just want to do this video, fuck you. And then I start going on a video, but I didn't like how that was structured and how it just kind of goes right into it. It just felt weird to me. But then I was reading Shahafuda and I realized just how much, seeing these characters work hard makes me want to work harder. And so like, I rethought it and I made an intro that I'm more satisfied with. And I tried to do better. Because of Chihafuda, I guess. So, and like at that point it's like, well, fuck, how can I not just say this is my second favorite manga right now? Because it just, it means a lot to me. And God, it's so fucking good and I need other people to read it. It's only 47 volumes, guys. You can get through it real quick.
I'm sorry, I'm reading Baki. Although, Craftsdwarf might be able to sell me, because I was thinking to myself, here's how broken of a man I am. I've been reading Baki, okay? Which is, I would say tangentially related to sports. Like, there's a Chinese kung fu guy who becomes a boxer for a good, 10 volumes. But I was sitting to myself and I was thinking, I'd be in the mood for another good sports manga.
Look, here's another reason to sell you on it.
4 this year.
Vindy, we can do a podcast on it. Because it's a shoujo/josei manga.
Oh my God, stop. You're making it too easy. Free content and sports? All right. You're speaking words that I don't like hearing, young man.
So yeah, they're right before the last game because in the Master Queen match you have to play multiple games and they're literally like right at the starting the last one, like right when I caught up, and I'm like, fuck. And of course it's all tied up because fuck you. But all right, I'm done. I don't want to spoil it. And Chadfu is really fucking good, and I love it, and it's really good, and I love it.
All right, adios everyone.
Right, so, I thought we're not gonna do the what are we doing next week?
We can. Sorry. We can.
Oh, I forgot about that.
No, I don't know. I just personally think it's a better way to end off than just
I'm
like
down with that. Okay.
Yeah.
I just forgot about it.
Because next week I might actually talk about Kill la Kill. I might talk about Metroid games because I just finished Metroid Fusion yesterday. So that's 4 of the mainline Metroid games. I might play Dread. I might not. I don't know yet. Then what else was there? I feel like there's probably more I can talk about, but I'll just leave it at those 2 potentially for now.
Barring anything psychopathic on my end, such as me starting and finishing a game next week, I will most likely be talking about either Baki Part 4 or Pokemon Brilliant Diamond.
Okay. I was just gonna ask if are you counting Baki Part 4 and 5 separately? Because if you catch up to Part 5 by next week, then are you counting them the same thing?
No, there's a high chance I'm probably not gonna have much to say about Part 5.
Okay, well, I was just maybe you could just talk about all of Baki when you catch up, if you catch up by next week.
We'll see. But I'll mainly be talking about Part 4. I want it still Part.
Okay.
I might be talking about more Batman because I'll probably have finished Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. I think it's a 4-movie thing. I don't know if it's
I don't know for sure, but I
can't remember.
I thought it was only 4 off the top of my head, but I haven't watched any of them, so.
I think it's only 4 unless I'm forgetting something. So I'll probably have finished the other 2 movies and I'll probably talk about that. If not, then I finished Mob Psycho and I'll talk about that. It's more likely I'll finish those 2 movies though.
Okay.
Because I do plan on watching Forever tomorrow.
All right, that about covers it then. So yeah, thank you for listening, everyone, and we will see you next time.